Okay, so let's do now the movement of these pieces. But first we have to make some correction. These squares are not the definitive pieces. These squares are not the bars or the big squares that we see on Tetris. These are elements of those pieces. So with these squares we can make bigger pieces. If we put them like this, we have like the bar, this the big bar. So this means that this is not the piece that it's going to move. So this piece movement script is definitely not uh, how I want to move the pieces. So what I want to do is create a new game object, which I'm gonna name piece, but this is the definitive piece. And this prefab is going to be called element because it's the small parts of the piece. And I'm going to make this prefab child of this piece. So remember, this piece is going to be uh, composed by a lot of elements. So in fact, for 4 elements, because all the Tetris pieces are formed by 4 squares. So this piece will have 4 squares always. And we will move the piece, not the small elements. So we have to change the script. I'm going to create a new script. This is going to be parent piece. And so this piece movement name is not really very accurate, but we're going to leave that like that for the moment. So as I said, we want to move. We want this move coroutine to be placed in the parent piece, and we want to trigger it on the parent piece. We don't want to move anything here. So the delay and the boolean, we put them as well here. But the can move down method, it will be on this script on the piece movement. So how do we uh, proceed now to check if we can move down in the parent piece? Well, we have to iterate over, as I said, this piece will have 4 elements, so we have to iterate over each element and check if all of them can move. So let's do it. This can move down element is correct right now. So this script is the correct script. Let's go to parent piece. And now we have to basically iterate over the children of this parent piece. So let's do a for, and we will iterate over transform child count. So iterate over all the elements that this piece have. And if we have to get the transform get child with index I, we have to get component piece movement so we can access to can move down if we make this public. So now for each children of this parent piece, we'll check if that children can moves down. That means if that children, when he or when it um, do a raycast down, finds any obstacle or the limits of the screen or something, it will return a true or false. So, so there is an exception because this piece over here, the one in the top, if we raycast down, we will find this one here, but we still want to move, or at least we want to check the ones at the bottom. So what we have to do, for the moment, I'm going to remove this. Well, I'm going to leave it, in fact. I'll leave it like this. So this piece movement, the rekas here, we want to ignore all the elements within its own parent, the same parent. So if the collider is not null, then we said that we have found something below us. Then we have to check. We have to check if that parent is the same as our parent. And in that case, we will return true. So it can move down because we don't care about that piece, that element. So a way to do this, we'll check if the heat collider transfer parent is the same as our parent. So in that case, we'll return true. And if not, we'll return false. Or we'll return this. So the collider is not null. We will check this. If it's null, then we'll return true. No, sorry. If it's not null, we will do this checking. Yeah. So if the collider is null, we have to check if the parent is the same as our parent. In that case, we'll return true. If not, we'll return false because we have found something that is not our parent. So in that case, we cannot move. So that's it. Then in the parent piece, we have to check that all of the elements can move. So in that case, what we can do is, if we see here, we have an if true, we can move down. So true, this true, we can change it for a new boolean. So can move, which it's gonna be true unless we found here something that is false. So if this one cannot move down, so then they can move, it will be false. So if can move, then we move down. If not, we'll say that it's placed. So let's check this. This is our scene, and I'm gonna hit play. Well, I have to assign the script to my parent piece. Let's hit play. We see that they not move, so let's check out what happens. Let's see our script. We have a iteration over all the child. We said that if can move down, then false. So this is wrong. This is if we cannot move down, so we have to add this. Hit play now. See what happens. Okay, it moves. And when we reach the top, the bottom, sorry, it stopped moving. So that's it. We have let's try to add two of them. In fact, I'm gonna rotate it and see what happens. Hope it doesn't crash. Let's do a rotation of 90 degrees, or in fact, let's do it more difficult. Let's put it there. Okay, let's check that all of them are well placed. Yep. Okay, let's hit play. See what happened now. Nice. They fit well.